Today, November 14, Wednesday, I was given a great opportunity to speak with one of Gabriela's representative, Congresswoman Luz Ilagan. She is a well-known personality in feminist advocates, and today we ask her opinion on gender issues and inequality in our country. You have an impressive background in terms of women empowerment and human rights projects. So where did you get your passion or your interest or your influences?
Well, my involvement started during martial law, and those times were really difficult for women, and me included, because at that time my husband was also a leader and a lawyer. In fact, he was arrested during martial law. He became a political detainee. And as a side comment, he's now going to be honored in the Bantayog ng mga Bayani on November 29. So during martial law, I became involved in women's issues and women's concerns, organizing women in Mindanao, which later on coalesced with Gabriela, the national. At that time, the United Nations wanted a representative from the Philippines that had a national scope to join the International Decade for Women in Nairobi, in Kenya. And so we joined Gabriela. I became a founding member of Gabriela. And that time, we were able to continue with organizing and helping women who were under these difficult conditions.
Representative Luz Ilagan has been part of countless projects concerning women empowerment, and whenever her services are demanded, she gives her 101% into it. And of all your women's rights projects, what is closest to your heart or most important?
I've said it's a difficult question, but I would identify three. Number one is information. The campaign of Gabriela Women's Party, to educate women about their rights, about the problems of society, and how they can assert their rights. Second would be focusing on the more practical aspect, because education is strategic, that has a long-term goal and long-term accomplishment or result. So the livelihood projects that we give to women would also be close to my heart, helping them cope with the day-to-day difficulties. And third would be our programs on violence against women, and that is why our projects, like the One-Stop Crisis Center in Davao, is intended really to provide access to women to report the domestic violence, for them to have the police, the social worker, the doctor, and the lawyer all in one place, so that the reporting is facilitated.
And as a public servant, what was your biggest challenge coming into a male-dominated industry?
Well, the biggest challenge would be coping with society's perception that women should stay in the home, women should continue with the traditional roles, and that if they start going into the public life, then they would have all these problems, and they would not be able to continue with their work at home. They might neglect their families, and so the woman who is now in the public life would have to do more, would have to exert more, so that she can prove that she's just as good as her male counterpart.
Representative Ilagan believes that every aspect of a woman needs empowerment. Gender inequality is less pervasive in the Philippines because of organizations similar to Gabriela. However, she reminds us that women's violence is still very much present in our society, and a huge number of women in the Philippines are extremely poor. And the internet became an outlet or an extension for a lot of societal problems. Do you think that women are fairly recognized in this virtual community?
Well, the technology that we have now can be a double-bladed sword. On one side, you see the good things, the benefits, the use that we can access for how to improve our lives. The internet can be a very good tool to improve our lives and improve communication. On the other hand, it can also be an instrument for furthering exploitation of women. So now we have experienced the cybersex, cybercrime, the pervasive poverty in our country will push women to become victims, to be more vulnerable to the syndicates who fly on the is the problem of women, the vulnerability of the poor, so that even families push their children to become part of this system. And so we see that while the internet has good things and it can improve our lives, it's a medium for uplifting our conditions. On the other hand, it can also be used to victimize women, especially those whose pictures have been uploaded because they were in an intimate scene, or they were viewed as objects or commodities. So I would say this is really two-edged sword. Both a good way of improving our lives, at the same time, it's a way of exploiting women and children.
Truly, technology has completely altered people and its surroundings. It has also become an outlet where societal problems can be aggravated. As we end this discussion, we ask Representative Ilagan a clear explanation of what Gabriela's role in the Philippine society is.
And lastly, how would you describe Gabriela's role in our society, especially in our gender structure?
Well, Gabriela plays a very big role. Gabriela, the coalition, the alliance, and Gabriela Women's Party. We are partners in furthering the education of women regarding their rights and how to exercise these rights. We are also partners in ensuring that basic services can be provided to women, and also that we have bills or legislation that can be passed in order to address the needs of women. So Gabriela continues with all these programs, and Gabriela Women's Party works within Congress with the assistance of our organizations. We do a lot of organizing, we do a lot of provision of basic services in order to pursue our advocacies.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for your time again. And you have a great day.
Okay,
Thank you po. It was both informative and inspiring, that talk I had with Representative Ilagan. I guess her personal experiences brought her closer to her advocacy. The lady may have been stereotyped for being a feisty feminist, but you'll be surprised how she exudes of passion for her work and thoughtfulness for other people.